want to talk about our planning and execution of our plans. So many people are big on making big plans. And they like just discussing the fact that they have big plans. But I think it's not just about discussing the plans. The major discussion should be on the execution of the plans. So while you're talking about your several big plans, I think you should be more interested in ensuring that those plans are executed, because many people have a problem with doing, they have a problem with executing their plans. And I believe that if somehow you're unfortunately part of those that discuss so much but they don't eventually execute. I think you need help, and I think you need to go for help. So usually before one makes a plan, the very first stage is the ideation stage. This is where you conceive your ideas. In this stage, you start distinguishing your ideas from mere wishes, because sometimes you have people bursting with a lot of ideas. They have a lot of things they want to do, but if they don't go through this ideation stage very well, where they get to start testing the viability of the ideas they have, they won't even know that some of the things they call ideas are just mere wishes. So at this ideation stage, you talk about these ideas. Is it viable? Should I go ahead and do this, or should I just keep this aside? Probably I'm not ready for this now. Probably I'm ready for this later. This is the stage you discuss about the viability of those ideas. And then after the idea stage, you start talking about the execution. You understand, there are a lot of things that goes in between planning, having an idea about something you want to do, and the eventual execution. So from the idea stage that you eventually get out the viable ideas, you move on to the execution stage, and from the execution stage you now have the successes or the completed projects that you desire. So one thing about getting a successful project and a successful execution at the end of the day is to plan well. Why do I mean by plan well? You have to do your deep research. When I mean research, you have to really be sure of what you're going into. In your research, you're asking yourself, these ideas I have, okay, finally I've decided out of all the ideas that I have that I want to do this. If this is viable, what do I need to do to get this thing properly executed? If I'm in business, who are the people I need to meet? What finances do I need? Do I need to hire 100 people? Do I need to hire just 2 people? The finances I have, are they going to be enough for this? Do I need to get a loan? There is a whole lot you plan. You plan so that you'll be able to execute well. So sometimes people rush their plans because they have tight deadlines, and you just have to execute fast so that they can complete their projects. Watch what should be make speed and not haste, because when you're rushing the planning stage, the execution stage will be affected, because if you don't plan well, you will not execute well, and of course the project will fail through. So I think we should give time to the planning. I know you shouldn't sleep planning, because some people, they said, oh, I'm planning something, for the next 2 years they are still planning, or they just overstretch the planning stage that they fail to execute. I know that for me, I think before you go ahead to execute, just ensure that your plan is watertight. I know it is not possible to know everything that may eventually happen, but it's 80% of your variables. Be sure of everything before you go ahead to execute. In the process of execution, many things may crop up. It's normal. As they crop up, and because you've planned it, you'll be able to address the challenges head on. So just go ahead and do what you need to do. Do not overstretch any of the stages. Your idea stage, don't overstretch it. Your planning stage, don't overstretch it. Your execution stage, you don't overstretch it. So that at the end of the day, you realize the result you have. Now, we have so many people that they are good people. Whenever you come to them, they are bursting with ideas. You even ask yourself, how do you think about these things? How do you come up with these things? There are people like that. But then some of these people, they have a deep problem with execution. When the light of the ideas comes, they are happy. They are talking boisterously, like everybody knows that they have this thing they want to do. But sometimes the energy wanes and they are unable to do something. If you fall into this category of people, probably you should just sit back a little. Whenever those bursts of ideas come again, just ask yourself, are these mere wishes? Are they really viable? Just go through the entire stage again and understand what and what you need to do. Then behind the planning and thinking about the viability of your ideas or plans and all that, ask yourself, is there any fear at the back of my mind? Could it be because I am afraid? That's why I've not been able to get any of these ideas to the planning stage, let alone the execution stage. Because sometimes you might think you are waiting for the perfect timing, but behind that waiting for the perfect time, you're actually afraid that you don't want to fail. So because of the fear of failure, you've not been able to get your ideas off, or because of the fear of failure, you've not been able to do the necessary research you need to do. So I want to encourage you today to just go ahead and make your plans. Do your research. When you do your research properly, I believe that somehow, you'll be able to execute. Challenges may come up, many things may eventually happen, but you'll be able to execute. So do not overlabor yourself. Do not, beat yourself over this thing. What if it goes wrong? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. It's fine. You learn lessons from there. At least you're doing something. It's better that you're doing something, you're encountering errors, correcting them, failing, and learning the lessons and trying again, than just because of the fear of failure you fail to do what you're supposed to do. So this is me encouraging you today to go back, think again. Those ideas, I believe that there is an executable one from there. Just go ahead and do your research and execute your ideas. And as you execute your ideas this week, this is me wishing you should have a blessed week. And I really do hope that one day we'll celebrate these ideas of yours that will eventually become viable. Have a nice week. Bye.